Joe, you want to take some of those?
Well, first of all, the credit card thing, it's going to be a debit card. So, yeah, you'll have funds loaded onto your card, whether those are in commissions or you've sold your gold or silver back to them, you've converted your bullion back to cash that's loaded on a card. That's all managed and controlled through your back office. You'll be able to move money around to your card or from your card. And if you have funds on your card, yeah, you'll be able to take it to Walmart or any place.
Okay, so it doesn't go directly from gold to the card. You have to transfer the gold into cash into the card and then use it.
That's correct. And another important thing, you compared acquiring bullion from KB in the same category as acquiring it from a bank. Well, first of all, most of the bullion out there that you buy from a bank, it's not Kinnibar quality, which means the minute it leaves the vault, you just lost 10 to 15% of the value. Kinnibar quality bullion does not lose its value once it leaves the vault. In other words, you fund your account, you convert your $100 to, say, a gram bullion and then a half gram. That would roughly be about what $100 would leave you a little bit of change in your account. But and you take delivery. You will have to pay delivery charges. But that bullion is Kinnibar quality. It does not lose its value once it leaves the vault in Switzerland or the vault in Germany.
Joe?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes,
I just
Cheryl.
thought we might add as well, KB is one of the largest, or is the largest producers of 1 gram Kinnibars in the world today. They're one of the only providers of the half gram units today as well. So it's not like when you go into a bank or something like that, you're normally looking at the larger bars, and banks, above all, probably have the largest premium added to gold on the market today.
Yeah. So in other words, what you're saying, Cheryl, is they're going to pay a lot more and get a lot less if you buy it through a bank.
Right. Through a bank, but a bank's probably not going to have available the 1 gram units and smaller units.
Right. Good point. Good point. Thank you, Cheryl, for having our back.
Joe, you can refer her to your website, too. Will you want to give that website address? Because there's some good documents on there that show the comparisons of buying from a bank versus KB and other Internet providers.
Right. There's a website that we've built that has a lot of facts and information, and it's mykbgold.us. mykbgold.us.
Joe, are you still there?
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, my name is LeBrandon Marie. I actually talked to you on Facebook about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm actually I've been brought on by Brett Caldwell. I don't know if you know that name or not.
Okay.
I do.
He's
I know
one of the guys. Yeah, he's going corporate America with it, and I just really tuned in today to see if I could get some more information, and I got it. Just really excited. The main thing I was wanting to know was when it was coming out, when we can start loading stuff in the software. I know we'll start getting that soon. Success stories that you could tell some people, Joe. I already have possibly a chamber set up, a university set up. I've got 4 or 5 businesses here in Knoxville, Tennessee, ready to go as soon as we're able to start selling. And a big thing that what we're doing on Brett's side of the KB issue is we can offer this to companies free of cost to the employer.
As an alternative to a 401k or as an alternative to a company savings account, a matching savings, all kinds of different things out there that have been investing their employees' hard-earned money into equities, into the stock market and mutual funds that are losing money. And how many people, all of us know people that have seen their 401k become a 201k. And now you can just take a portion of those dollars and take a fifth of them or a fourth or a half of those dollars and put them into a gold-backed savings program that is going to insulate people from the inflation that's going to, I believe, be worldwide.
Oh, yeah. I just heard that lady ask real quick, so I had to chime in with saying, how can you get it into businesses? I think it's easier to get it into businesses than it is just to go up to the average Joe on the street, in a way.
Yeah, this is not. Go ahead, Cheryl.
No, the one thing I want to say about the businesses, and I do know Brett Caldwell. We have had many conversations with Brett. But the one thing I want to reiterate here, when you're going into businesses, we will have a waiting period there. We will have certain verbiage that we're required to use so that we do not cross over the lines into SEC territory.
Right.
And present it as a security. So we will be waiting. So we just can't go run out to the businesses right now.
Right.
We have to wait for that verbiage.
Right.
Yeah, well, let me just say too that we are not selling gold here. Understand that we've got a gold-backed savings program. So we're not brokers. We're not dealing with commodities. And in fact, we'll get into more detail on this later. We're not a network marketing company either. We're so far beyond that it's not funny. But in any case, we're not under any of those categories. So when you do present it out there, let them know it's a gold-backed savings program. So yeah, they can use it in potentially, for their pensions or for their retirement programs for their people. And in fact, KB is in the process, and I'm in the process of helping them. I can't go into some details, but we're looking at ways for people to be able to put this into their gold-backed IRAs and things like that. So with their credibility, there's a lot of things that are possible that are in the works or on the way that are just going to blow people's minds. So I know it blew mine.
Brett went over that with me strong about not using the word.
Right. Well, guys, one question I want to address, and Cheryl and Steve, you both can chime in on this one. A lot of people are balking at the fact that to open an account with KB, I have to give my driver's license information, and that's sensitive information, and I don't give it to anybody. How do you address that, and why do people need to show a driver's license or submit their driver's license or passport number and expiration date to open an account with KB?
Can I take first shot at that?
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, let me just say this again. I'm not going a whole lot into all my divergent background or whatever, because again, it wasn't about that took me over there. I mean, it led to the fact of what I presented to KB. But I've done a lot in the offshore arena, and really what you're doing here, although we don't want to promote it that way, is essentially you're opening an offshore or an international account. Whether you call it a vault account or when you change it from the gold into currency, a bank account or whatever, you are, opening an international account. And when you do that, they have to practice what's called KYC, know your customer. We have to prevent. The only thing that could ever harm us, really, as long as people stick to the facts, is if people were trying to launder money here, or, let's say they were trying to use false documents or anything like that. It's like going to any bank in this country or any country now. They're going to want that documentation. They're going to want a government-issued ID. They're going to want, in many cases, especially if you start doing any volume, they're going to want, a copy of a utility bill. They're going to want other personal information like opening any real bank account. If somebody does not ask you for those documents, I guarantee they're stealing your money. They're fraudsters, okay? It doesn't happen anywhere in the world anymore because they would be cut off from their corresponding banks in the U.S. or other countries under various, international money laundering agreements. You have to practice know your customer. It has to be a real passport. I've heard some people trying to get away with other things. It has to be a verifiable driver's license that was really issued by the government. They're going to double-check these things. And if you go over a certain amount of money that you're processing through here, usually it's $50,000 or in Europe 50,000 euros, you're going to have to prove where that income came from. Now, that's all kept confidential, and fortunately we're dealing with Switzerland, and we're going to be dealing with other privacy protection jurisdictions. So they're going to keep that all confident. Only a subpoena can get at that information, but they're going to be watching very carefully for anybody trying to, do any sort of fraud or criminal activity in the system. So there's nobody that's legitimate should object to providing that, okay? So we're not talking about anything that's unreasonable here.
Right.
And it's also a requirement of the Patriot Act. Everything that Steve just said has to do with the Patriot Act to make sure that no one is laundering money through KB, because like you said, that would be the problem if they were allowing that. So that they're going to be very strict on those issues.
Okay. Well, great answers,
One
guys.
more question right quick.
We have one more question?
Yeah,
I have a real important question.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it's about the IRS. They're bringing on like 15,000 new agents to collect taxes from people, and so because it's international, this is Rob in Highland Park, Illinois. Because it's an international account, what's the tax situation with
that
income?
Would be a good question for Steve. That's his expertise. Steve?
Well, let me say, first of all, like I said when I walked into the offices of KB, or like I say in many situations I'm going into consultants, I'm not going to give you tax, legal, or accounting advice. You have to consult your tax attorney or your accountant about those specifics. We're not in that business here. But let me just say in general, you're going to report it the same way you would any foreign income. Even if KB doesn't set up offices in this country and issue you a 1099, you're going to report it exact way you would any foreign source income as a U.S. citizen. And look, we're dealing with 200 and some countries around the world, so every country is a little bit different. So they need to consult their own people as to what their requirements are. It's the individual's responsibilities, not the company, when they're a foreign entity. So that's what you want to keep in mind. And how, if they have, unlimited number of agents, you still have to follow the same rules, is what I'm suggesting to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have time for one more question, and then we're going to call it an hour here, guys. So who's got another question?
I got a quick question.
Okay, go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm good.
Go ahead.
What's the name of the bank that they're using to, you said we have a debit card. What's the name of the bank that we'll have the debit card from?
I don't think we can divulge that yet.
Yeah. It will be disclosed here in the next.
Yeah, again, that's something that I was privy to, and it is an international global bank that's been doing international transactions around the world for well over 20 years. They're totally capable of handling this on every level. That's a big, an important part of the majority of the consulting that I do. You always have to be able to take in money and put out money properly, or you don't have a deal. So you have to look at what capabilities that they have, and it is a viable, large international bank is about all we can say right now. The card will be out. You'll see it in the screenshots on your back end there right now. You'll see where you activate your debit card, and they searched for about 8 months, for the right entity at least, and they were doing some before that, but they've got the right people in place to be able to pay people all over the world and do all the different functions that we need to be able to do with this in order for people to get both their commissions and their payouts when they sell their gold, and also to pay in to KB, so you don't always have to be doing money wires, bank transfers.
Okay, well, great answer, Steve. And again, I want to thank you, Steve, for taking time to join us with this call. Your expertise is much appreciated, and thank you to Cheryl Ann Gober. And for those of you that are new and don't know who Cheryl Ann Gober is, Britt and Cheryl Ann Gober are I call them the master distributors that were hand-selected to launch the North American operations. And they are just phenomenal leaders. And Cheryl, do you want to share about an upcoming event we got coming up tomorrow?
Yes. Excuse me. We have a big week this week, actually. We have the webinar coming up tomorrow. It's at 12 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock Central, and 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And that is at my.dim.com/gold from KB. That web address will be available in the Skype rooms this afternoon. You will also be receiving an email if you're on the mailing list. And as well, it will be posted on our Facebook page. So there's lots of places to go back and get that information. And we will be having our group conference call for the entire team on Thursday evening this week. And that is going to be 5 Pacific, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 o'clock Eastern.
All right. Well, thank you, Cheryl. Well, guys, thanks for joining us today. We do these calls every Monday, same time, same channel, same phone number. So for Cheryl and Steve Kelly, this is Joe Norman here in Worcester, Ohio. Thank you, and you guys have a fantastic day.